Turn back time, feel the change. Chat and Jugglies, here we go. Retro vibes start to flow. Vinyl records and comic books, old school charm on a took. Join the ride, it's a blast. Nostalgia's here at last. Throwback chat with Chat and Jay. Find your past every day. Throwback chat, let's rewind. Collectibles you'll find. Arcade dreams and vintage toys. Past is now for girls and boys. Step inside the magic door. 80s treasures galore. Trading cards, rare finds. Unlock tales of old times. Jay Belizzi guides the way. Chet brings joy of display. Throwback Shack with Chet and Jay. Find your past every day. Throwback Shack, let's rewind. Collectibles you'll find. Throwback Shack with Chet and Jay. Find your past every day. Throwback Shack, let's rewind. Collectibles you'll find.
What is up, everybody? Just waiting for Jay Belizzi. There he is.
Yo, there's Chet right there. There's Chet and Jablizzi.
Just
It's
yeah.
like jabroni.
Yeah. So I hope everybody enjoyed that new intro that we've got rocking right now. It is definitely in need of some work, but I think it's going places. So we're gonna obviously it was created with AI. That's kind of a
Is that
touchy subject
obvious?
these days. I mean, I think it is. I mean,
What are you talking about? Like I perfectly pronounced every single word.
exactly.
He's
And
the
you can sing
best.
like that too.
Yeah.
That's how that goes.
Oh man, it's pretty good. I think you whipped that bad boy up in a couple moments, right? I think we were kind
Mhm.
of talking about the opening and whatnot, and you sent me a clip, or you sent me a message first. It was just like, "Oh, possible show open?" question mark, and I'm like, "There's nothing here, bro. Like, what do you mean? Like nothingness? Is that what you want to start the show with?
Yeah,
Just nothing,
just
um,
blank screens.
or just links, right? Like
Mhm.
you just start them off with random links. Like, go ahead, try to click this link. But anyway, yeah, no, it was cool when you sent that over. And like at first I was kind of like, no, AI, no, bad. And then the more I listened to it and the more I listened to it and the more I listened to it and then built a little video for it this morning, it it is kind of sticking on me, man. Like it's the chorus, right?
Yeah, man, it really is.
Throwback Shack. It's Chet and Jay. Although I don't like the fact that you have top billing, but
Yeah, well, yeah, but we've talked about that,
I
so
think that's the sibling rivalry. I think you did that on purpose.
I typed that into the prompt there. Yeah.
I can never know, right? It's not like I can subpoena your
Well, a
records.
life
Be like,
living as Luigi the entire time, like might as well try to get my shots in where I can.
yeah, no, that's definitely the place to do it, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, everybody, we're glad you're here. We
Yeah.
kicked off the show with that new open that was mostly Troy's responsibility. The visuals were mine, and we kind of collabed and threw something together. Something I like to do when we first get on the show is kind of go through each other's week, man, because we don't get a lot of time to talk to each other.
Mm.
I brought this point up, and I'm sure you'll talk about it later because you shared it. But I brought the point up about spending time as a creator, and where you
Yeah,
need
I
to
saw that.
allocate your time, especially if you are a family person like us. So we don't get a lot of time to like show prep and go over things with each other, and it's nice when we do get these moments and we get a chance to
Mhm.
catch up. So tell me, man, what's the good, bad, and ugly of your week, dude?
Wife was sick over the weekend. So you know what that means. Just taking care of the kids kind of by yourself while she recuperates.
Yeah.
So there was that. Uh, Work is work. You know, I'd
It's
rather be
always
doing
work.
this. Yeah, I'd rather be doing this all day long. Just
Yeah.
streaming and content creating, obviously. But no, I work out in the sun, and it's the hottest summer I can remember in my
Well, it's
life. So
Florida. I mean, when is it not hot, right? Like
I think there's like some kind of Floridian amnesia that happens. Every time we get the winter comes through and it cools down a little bit, we just kind of forget that's
yeah, and
it
just about
is.
when you remember fully and you're about to die, it gets cool again. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
almost like pregnancy amnesia. My wife has pregnancy amnesia, which is why we are now on to the fifth baby. She's pregnant and she's been sick this week. So okay, I see your pain there. What's
hmm
some good? Is there any good or is it all just bad and ugly?
Uh, no, I mean I'm getting my new monitor tomorrow, so I can finally actually monitor chat from a separate little thing over here. That'll be great, because I got this monitor a long time ago, the one that I'm actually right here.
Right.
Uh, I got this one when I bought my desktop, and it had a low refresh rate. I was kind of just accepting it because it came with the computer package. But now that one's coming in. Uh, Other good news: the wife is still just cranking out some TikTok content, and that's
Cool.
going well for her. Yeah, yeah, she's actually selling a bunch of stuff, doing these lives.
Hey, look at that, man.
Yeah, man.
She beat you to the money.
Sure. Yeah,
Ours is still a labor of love.
it is currently, but we'll
Yeah,
get
well,
there.
that's good. I mean, another good thing is you've built that nifty wall behind you. What would have been cool is if you could have framed yourself in on that so that I just saw the wall. But I get to see, like, it's almost like the Wizard of Oz with that wall. I
Mhm.
get to see what's actually going on behind the curtain. Behind the curtain.
Well, you know what I'm going to say about this. It's I can't do that in this program.
Yeah,
Like I
no,
can
I
do
got
that
you.
in OBS, but I can't do that here. So in OBS and on my other streams, yes, I am closed in and I am in front of the game that I'm playing
Bro, I
because,
gotta bust
that's
balls.
badass. Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
of course, yeah, right. Like, well, look, so you're if people may not know, you're kind of the junior producer here, right? So I spent
Mhm.
many years of my life learning how to do producing, and now that I get to kind of top bill a little bit, you are learning the producing side of this
Mhm.
thing, and you're learning very quickly that there are things we can do and things we can't do, and there's time you got to spend to that, and it's a big time expense. If you get to it, you get to it. If not, we
Mhm.
make do with what we got.
Yeah.
But you're doing a great job, man. I just
Thanks,
wanted to
man. I appreciate that.
is you got to take
Golf
the ball
clap.
busting though,
Golf
because
clap.
that is part of this thing. So
Mhm.
I gotta put it out there, like, you're not doing your
Oh,
job.
I'm also, I'm also the little brother. So,
Yes,
ball
yes,
busting has been part of my life forever.
it has, and I'm so apologetic if that caused any kind of. I'm not really.
I like your haircut.
Hey, thanks, man. Did it myself. Yeah,
Did you really
yeah.
do that yourself?
Yeah.
All
Lined
right.
it up and everything. Well, look, I got real good at that in the military. It was an extra way to make some money, and you would
Oh,
have
no
known
shit.
that had you showed up after you said you were
I
coming.
Dick Cheney wouldn't let me, so
It was the biggest. Uh, I don't even know how to. We'll talk
it's like a
about that
bait
one
and
time,
switch kind of.
folks.
Yeah, yeah. We'll bring that up.
Yeah, you know how, like, your buddy, like, invites you to a party and he's like, "Dude, I'll be there at like 8:30," and then you're like at this party and you're just like so awkward, but you can go home, right? Well, it's
Mhm.
kind of what happened to us, except for I was in the army and he didn't show up.
I was the
So
reason he was supposed to go. Like
yeah, yeah, it
I
was
convinced him
total
that
Big
he had
Brother gonna.
nothing else going on with his life and that like he needed to follow me to the military. And like we both went through MEPS at the same time. We both went through all the
Yeah,
testing and all the initial stuff. And they didn't accept me
after they
for
told me you were coming.
yeah, yeah, yeah. After they
Yeah.
lied to him and told him he was coming, yeah, they didn't accept me
Oh gosh.
because of legal reasons. I was, a
You smoked
delinquent.
a cigarette 700 yards from a school. Like, really?
Yeah, it
Like,
was
give me a break.
it was the number of charges that year. So like
Yeah.
that was one charge that year, but that was the last one that kind of kept me from
It was the
progressing.
cigarette that
To
broke the
that
camel's back. You know
It
what I mean?
was, yeah. I mean, that's a great turn of phrase right there. But
Um,
that's what happened. So
s-
like basically, he had to go through all of basic training and almost get shipped off. And I got to stay home and play video games.
yeah, yeah. Well, hey, we got content for the show because of it, right? Like,
Yeah, right.
we got something to say because of it. So, I got to tell you this story, man. So 4:30 in the morning, my dogs, they get up and they want to go to the back door and they're going to start scratching, right? and they're scratching and pawing and scratching. I'm like, damn it, like it's 4 o'clock, man. Just wait another hour and a half. Let me get some rest. They
Hmm.
wouldn't do it. They were unrelenting. Well, what you also have to know is my wife is nesting because of the baby coming. So she has got baby stuff all over the place, right? And
Hmm.
we started to clean the baby bouncer seat that we got, and we started to clean the fabrics for the swing. So those are both downstairs by the couch. Well, I've been sleeping on the couch a little bit here and there because I snore, right? So she
Hmm.
can't already sleep. So ladies out there that are watching it, you probably have a husband that snores, or it could be vice versa. We're equal opportunity, but I snore, so I've been crashing on the couch so she can get a good night's sleep.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Well, these dogs are moving, and so I'm like, okay, I'm going to get up and handle this. Pitch black. Well, I somehow step in the middle. Yes, no, that's not the way.
It's my
But
dog.
I then we'd have to give them to your charity and everything. But anywho, long story short, um, so I
That's
step
great.
into this bouncy seat somehow, the cage of it, and it wraps
Yeah,
up around my leg.
through
And
the leg hole, probably through the
yeah,
leg
just
hole. Yeah.
right through the bad boy. I go to pick up the other leg. I won't. It catches on that thing. I slam my knee on the coffee table, and I proceed to do a 360 spin and land flat on the ground. Now, mind you, our oldest middle daughter is in the room right off of our living room, and so she comes out. She's like, "Daddy, what's going on?" Like, I'm out there, like, I'm cursing at this point. I'm like pissed. I'm throwing stuff around while I'm on the ground. I'm just like, unreal, dude. So that's how my
Mhm.
day started.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a great way to open up a Tuesday.
it's not. It is the worst way to open up a Tuesday.
Oh.
But anywho, I figured I would let me go over to the Twitter page.
Hmm.
We can take a look at a few things there. I think we had a few
Yeah.
things we wanted to talk about tonight. One of them, let me remove that. One of them was we wanted to talk about AI, right? We wanted to discuss AI and its kind of role in what we're seeing today.
Hmm.
I think, look, you whipped up that song in how many minutes last night? How long did that song take?
That took me as long as it took to type the description of what I wanted to hear. And literally, like that software I use, it pumped out like two songs for you to listen to.
Right.
It was the top song. Like it was the number one song I put up there, and then there was another one. And out of those two, I was like, I'm sold on that song, man. Like as we discussed before, that chorus is just so catchy. So
Yeah, it really is. I mean,
yeah.
AI did a pretty good job there, and I think we've all anybody who's watched this show right now has probably dabbled with Chat GPT,
Hmm.
and if you haven't, it's fun to mess with as well. You can definitely get it to churn out a bunch of information you need. My main issue with a lot of it is though is I don't understand necessarily the gripe with it in gaming. I think that the better the AI, the better the game will be, right? I mean, the better that the computer decides to play for itself, the more challenging it'll be. The more that the NPCs can think for themselves and do independent moves. I mean, I think we all have kind of like longed for that in the gaming community,
Yeah.
but I have seen pushback, and I don't know necessarily that it's related to um, video
Hmm.
games AI, or if it's related to this push with, you know, um, maybe sentient banking systems. I don't know. I don't know what the pushback is. I mean, yes,
Skynet.
yeah, right. Could Skynet happen? I mean, I'm a
Mhm.
conspiracy theorist. Sure, why not? Um, but are we even there? Like,
I
are we?
think some of the biggest pushbacks, at least from what I understand, is large corporations using AI as a leverage to no longer pay artists what they're worth in terms of song creation, as we can see right there, in terms of game arts, in terms of script writing. So I think that there are definitely some genuine criticisms in terms of like how it can be used. Um, but I had this thought today, which was, you know, AI in terms of like easy, quick creation. Just in terms, oh, I just need a little overview real quick. I don't need this to be a finished product. I just like this is kind of the direction I want to head in. So almost like a drafting or this is the blueprint or prototype. I think it's fantastic, because like people like us right now with this stream, we don't have the money to contract out to a musical artist uh,
Facts.
to get them to create a theme song for us. Whereas uh, people of higher means or higher subscription streams do have that kind of stuff because they're getting the subs, they're getting all that kind of thing. So it's great that the smaller platforms like us probably have an easier in to getting some of the higher kind of content that some of these other channels produce.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was talking to somebody too about it in writing, and I think when I initially brought it up to them, they kind of poo-pooed the idea, right? Like they
Hmm.
were I think they what they were thinking was is that I was telling them that the AI should supplant the actual writing process. And in
Hmm.
all honesty, that's not even where I was going, but they were closed off immediately when I brought it up. But the idea I actually presented was is, maybe the thought is a lot of times writers get block. They get writer's
Yeah,
block,
sure.
creativity block. If you can take an idea and its generalness and just throw it in the AI and do it 50 times and see what the different ideas and thoughts are that come out of that machine, you
Hmm.
don't have to use those, but you've got maybe a spark of inspiration.
Sure,
Whereas
a jumping
before
off
you were,
point.
yeah, before you were just staring at a blank sheet of paper. Now, you've got 50 different suggestions. Maybe you do like a little of this, a little of that. It's not writing it for you. You still have to write what it is that you want to
Hmm.
accomplish, but it's giving you, like you said, that jump off point. And
Yeah, and that's what we discussed with the opening song that we used today was there were definitely a few kind of like phrases in the lyrics that we were just unhappy with, but overall, that is a great starting point for the video that we want to use, or actually the song that we want to use, and even the video that we want to use.
yeah,
So yeah, there's that. There's still definitely the aspects of the ethics of it, and there's still aspects of the consumption waste, really. Like I've heard that even some of these simplest of prompts can consume like 30 something bottles of water per entry.
wow,
So
okay,
like,
well,
yeah,
I
and,
mean,
and like server cooling and stuff, so
sure. Yeah, I mean, okay, so power consumption, I guess that could be a concern. And I mean, that's something I'd have to do a little more digging on.
yeah,
I think, for tonight's show, touching on it, just top view, kind of looking down, 40,000 foot view.
sure,
I mean, I'm kind of a fan of AI at this point.
I like it.
We'll
You like,
see where it goes. I'm always wary, right? I'm always
mhm,
watching and trying to see where the road's going to go. But yeah, I mean, I think for the purposes that I've needed it for, it's been outstanding. It's
mhm.
really done its job. And once again, the creative process is the creative process, and you're going to
Yeah,
come up with content that's quality and people will enjoy. But getting a nudge every now and then when you're stuck, or you
doesn't
just
hurt.
don't have enough
Yeah,
time, yeah, it does not hurt at all.
especially when you don't have enough time. Like, and we've discussed that ad nauseum here.
Well, I mean, that's the right. So that's the next thing that I kind of wanted to get into was, the time. I saw a lot this week. I'm going to bring up Twitter while we're talking.
Hmm. Nope. I wonder if he lost power. So, any of you guys, what do you guys think about AI? I don't know if Jay Bleasy was correct in what he was talking about in terms of the AI in like game AI, because I think that's different than the AI that's used in terms of like the content creation of video games. Like AI in video games would be like the pathing and things like that. Whereas like I don't think they're using AI like to like learn from players like in terms of moves. But I think they probably could do that too, because they did teach that chess computer actually ended up winning. I don't think it was chess too. I think it was another game that's very similar, but it ended up learning the moves. But I don't think anybody's actually using that currently in video games.
No, I mean, and where I was going with all of this was the
Mm.
time issue. And sorry, I guess the studio decided to kick me out for a minute, but that's live show, right?
Get your shit
Where
together.
I was going with the get your shit together. I was going with the time aspect, right? And
Hmm.
and like I said, I'd seen on Twitter a couple different spots because I follow a lot of people. I like to follow people. And they were talking about burnout. I mean, that's basically the tone of what they're talking about. And you can see them, literally it looks like they're lamenting in each of these posts. It's talking about, I just can't be on anymore. It's just not fun for me anymore, and all these different things. And I've done a number of different shows and podcasts and radio stuff for a number of years, and I can tell you that burnout definitely is real. But if
Yeah.
if you approach it in a way that's I mean, more helpful to you than hurtful, right? Like you want to
Mhm.
come to the show excited. I think, we do
Yeah.
one show a week. I think we're both pretty amped to show up for that show, right? It's not, hey man, I need to see you Wednesday. I need to see you Thursday. I need to see you Friday. Like
Mhm.
it's one show a week. It gives us time to build up content, stuff that we have to talk
Yeah, we have
about.
our meetings on Monday, like, and we text during the week, and then we produce on Tuesday.
Right. And both of us have families. So,
Mhm.
we've got all of that time we can dedicate to our families, and all the time we can dedicate to the real priorities in life. And I think that that's where people are missing the boat. I think
Mhm.
that a lot of folks think that you just got to keep posting, you got to keep making videos, you got to keep doing this, right? Or people are going to fall off, they're not going to see you. And yeah, look, the fake ones are going to fall off, right? If they weren't really fans of you in the first place,
Sure.
they're bye bye. They're gone by the wayside as soon as you don't produce something. But the people that really like what you do and really vibe with you and think that you're doing something positive, they're going to stand by you, whether you take a week off or whether you take a month off, and
Mhm.
it's just that much more exciting when that person comes back. And I think if people took more time just refreshing themselves, taking a little bit of a break, I mean, heck, even on the weekends, originally I had Saturday and Sunday slated as days. Everybody that pays attention to our brand, follows us on Twitter, knows that we have a day of the week that corresponds with a hashtag, right? Mondays are, Monday Mayhem. Tuesdays are Trading Card
Trading
Tuesdays. Like,
cards.
I used to have something for Saturday and Sunday, but I eventually got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm going to be on my phone all the time. Like, I can't do that. Like,
Yeah.
I need to have the weekend for the family. I need to have the
Mhm.
weekend for me, for my own sanity. Like, I need to have a break.
Have
And
to.
so, I think if people would approach this in a little bit different light, if they would kind of really get their priorities straight in their life,
Mhm.
they would get reinvigorated. They would see that there is a way, a pathway to this content creation thing that it doesn't require them to be absent from real life.
Sure.
You know,
And even when you think about it from the side of like, fine, content creation, it might be your full-time job. But even my full-time job, like, I don't do, every day or all the time. Like, I take time off of that. And even with this right here, this is just extra time. My kids are down. Uh, my wife is doing her thing. This is my extra time. I would normally be playing video games, and I'm here doing this instead.
yeah, yeah,
But I'm
absolutely.
not gonna like focus too hard on like all my extra time that I have. And like, oh, I need those extra viewers. Oh, I need to pump out some YouTube shorts or some TikTok, some short content. Some what is it called? Short format content.
Yeah,
Because
I
like,
get what you're
it
saying.
is like, I mean, if we wanted to just explode, you have to do that kind of stuff all the time. But at what cost, really?
Well, I mean, look at what we're doing, right? I mean, and
Hmm.
we're kind of creeping ever so closely to the 700 follower mark. We're ever encroaching the 1,000 mark. We've kind of done that in 3 months, but it's not because I'm the reply guy, right? Or it's not because I put out a gajillion posts today. I try to put out content that people will enjoy. They'll want to
Hmm.
see it. I try to support members in the community that people already like, that people already like the stuff they're doing, and
Yeah.
and that's always a good thing too. And then I put in the hours when I have the hours to put in. If I don't have the hours to put in, I don't. So I
Hmm.
think that there is a pathway forward to success. It may be a bit slower, like you mentioned, than overnight success or stardom. But if
Sure.
you
Yeah.
want to maintain some sanity, this is a way that you can do that, and you just have to work at it.
Hundred
So.
percent.
Um, on top of that, there was a couple good posts I wanted to get into. Did you see that Steve Urkel
Yeah.
card, bro?
That's the Virgo one.
Oh, I love that card, dude. That's crazy. I was,
Yeah.
Urkel. Did I do that?
Family Matters was a huge thing. TGIF was. I mean, that was the world. That was
TGIF.
it. Like, that's what you waited for every week.
Well, and it was almost sad sometimes, man, because you'd get to the end of TGIF, right? And you're like, okay, well, at
Mhm.
least I have Saturday morning cartoons. And then once 11 o'clock hit on Saturday, 11:30, whatever it was, noon, whatever the time was, dude, it was like it felt like sometimes the weekend was over. Like you're like, oh no, like it's Saturday night, nothing
Oh
on
yeah.
Sunday,
Well, we
back to
also
school.
we also grew up in a religious family, so Sunday was church,
Right.
so that was almost half your day in the morning. So your morning was toast.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like you'd get back and like have that thought in your mind that I got to go to school tomorrow, or it's the week starting. So
Sure. Homework's due, bro.
yeah,
My
homework's due, and I
project
was
that I
yeah, I'm a big procrastinator with my ADHD. So yeah. it was always get her done time.
Bro, did you see this post? I think this dude got me with this post. Did you see
No,
it?
no. I believe that that's correct actually.
Is it,
I don't
man?
I don't
Because he
I don't know if
commented back on my comment with just like a rolled eyes type thing, and then hilarious laughter emojis, and I'm like, I
I
guess
don't
I
know
could
if yeah,
Google
I don't
this,
know if
but
that's the guy, but I believe that's the correct story. So yeah, I don't know if this could be an actor from like a movie that we're just unfamiliar with, and that's why they're laughing at it. But I do believe this story is correct.
well, it's Googleable,
If
right?
anybody else knows it,
Yeah. Shout
throw
it
it in the
out
chat.
in the chat. Yeah, for sure. Oh my
Let us
gosh.
know we're just morons.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I generally am skeptical of everything I see, and I saw that one. I was like, well, this is fun no matter how it turns out.
Yeah, he
Somebody had
does
mentioned
look like Mario.
somebody had mentioned in a post today. They're like, "Oh, name the time you were what would they say? Name the time you were embarrassed on a stream." And I'm like, I've been in radio, man. Like, I don't get embarrassed on a stream. Like, even when
Mm.
I shut myself out of a stream, or if I were to, I don't know, split my pants on a stream, like, the embarrassment is not even in the equation. Why? Because everything is content, man. And in my world, in my brain, it's all
If it's
content.
embarrassing, it's probably better content.
Exactly, right? Like, thank you. If it's
Yeah.
embarrassing, it's better content. So,
I was never
yeah,
in radio or podcasting, but I was on stage quite a bit growing up.
yeah, for sure. I mean,
So
yeah, and you get that. Like, I think
yeah,
that kind of fits into that mold of that, what is that? Yes and type thing. Like,
yeah, the improv rule of yes and
so, I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand with that
you got
thought
to
that,
move the
like,
scene forward. You can't negate.
right. And embarrassment is part of that game,
Oh yeah,
so it's
I
one of
saw
those
that
things.
Mega Man 7 post too. Shoot that thing.
Did you get a screenshot of it?
What? Which one? The Mega Man 7 one?
Yeah, this one
I
here.
didn't. No.
Oh, I told him, I was like, oh,
I
that's
don't want
pretty
to cheat.
cool.
I want to play it through.
I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I was like, and I also typed out, I was like, meanwhile, I'm screenshotting this.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, I'll save state, which is cheating anyways, but I'll I want to play from the beginning. That was hilarious.
I'm your
I,
father, brother.
I'm your father, brother.
And then I hit him back with the ooh yeah, Luke Skywalker.
That Luke Skywalker dude cursed. Cursed, bro.
uh, so good, man. Let me see. Hold on,
Yeah.
I'll see if I got it right here. Oh gosh, yeah, I hit him back with this.
Yeah.
Ooh, the Rindu
It's
Macho
so
Man
good.
Savage. Yeah, it's good stuff. That's quality. See, that's what posting's all about. That's why you want to follow the show. And not only for that, but in just a minute we're gonna fire up our interview with Travis, the card tile guy.
Yeah, man.
Right there, look at that.
There he
Uh
is, popping
there
through.
there it
Great
is.
interview too.
It
He's a
was a
fantastic
fantastic
gentleman.
interview. I mean, not that any of them have not been fantastic. They've all
Yeah,
been
exactly.
great.
Mhm.
All great guys to talk to. Great people in the community. Just
Great
great.
artists.
Yes, great artists, great dudes. They're just dudes, right? I mean,
Mhm.
they're cool. They're cool folks, and we really enjoyed this interview. We'll actually, you know what? I've got this queued up. There's so many people in the stream tonight. It's actually super large. I have a feeling this is for this interview with Travis, and not for us. But hey, whatever, man. Like,
Yeah, we'll take it.
we'll take it, right? We're glad you came.
Yeah,
Let me go ahead and cue this up,
I think I
and
have it queued
then
up.
do you have it queued up?
I believe so. Yeah, let me get that
Okay.
going here real quick.
If you've got it queued up, folks, we're going to go ahead and have him work on that. He's going to get it queued up. We're going to jump to this interview now. The interview was about 30 minutes long, so we hope you stay and enjoy it. And then we'll be here to kind of monitor things, make sure everything's going great. It's a pre-record. We like to do that so that way, if the unexpected happens, we can do what we need to do edit wise. But
Mhm.
we hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Take a few minutes, watch this. When we come back, we'll do my speed run in Mario, maybe a little more gaming, and finish off Hell Comes to Frogtown, baby. So
All
enjoy
right.
the interview. Let's get it going.
All right. Travis, it is great to have you on the show. Thanks for stopping by, taking the
Yeah,
time out of
thank
your
you for having
schedule.
me.
Of course,
Appreciate
yeah,
it.
yeah. So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So yeah, well, what brings me here, I think, is this coaster or card tile
Hmm.
business that I've got going. So, uh, I was a kid collector in the '90s, like a lot of people. I was about 10 years old and spent all my card money or yard work money, I should say,
Hmm.
on cards at a
Yeah.
local card shop here. And for me, it was basketball cards. So I was always looking for Clyde Drexler, who I thought at the time was better than Michael Jordan. I died on that hill.
Clyde the Glide. You gotta love.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was
Yeah.
my guy right there.
Yeah.
So that was right, when we were knocking on the door of a title, but unfortunately Jordan stood in the way of that. But
Yeah.
um
Definitely.
I collected then and then grew out of it, but I kept my collection for, and as I got into adulthood, I'd take my cards from place to place. And every once in a while, like probably 10 years or so, I would go online and try to figure out if I had the rich collection that I thought I would. And it
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
went down. And
Yes. So you never became the millionaire like
it
all
was,
of
No,
us
yeah,
do.
no.
bad
Yeah.
investment. I think everyone probably knows that. Junk era, total, like, early '90s. They were just printing
Mhm.
that cards like crazy. I had a Jordan card that I was so proud of. It was like a $25 card. So that was always the first one I would check. So
Mhm.
I'd go on eBay when that was around, and then before that, go to Beckett or whatever. And it was like 25 bucks when I pulled it as a kid. And so it like straight into I think I had a screw down case for that one. But
Nice.
that was like prime spot
That's
on my
big time.
shelf.
Yeah, as a kid to have a screw down case. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was a big deal. And then I saw it on eBay 6 years ago. It sold for like 99 cents. I was like, all right, what am I doing with these
Oh
Oh.
cards?
no.
Why am I lugging these from
Oh
like place to place? But I couldn't get rid of them because I like them. I'm
yeah.
nostalgic and good memories attached to them. So I don't know. I just one thing led to another. For better and worse, I've got a personality where I just try to do things different, and
Hmm.
Us too.
so
Yeah, we're the same
now
too.
I
Yeah.
just make these kind of absurdly intricate coasters.
Yeah.
And
Well, that
So
kind of
wait,
leads me
so
into my.
well, hold on. So you
Okay.
absurdly intricate coasters. So I mean, I've looked at them. I honestly like. I think my mother-in-law collects tiles. Right? She's got all these tiles from all these different countries she went to. It's an actual
that's,
thing.
that's cool.
And
Mhm.
Okay.
yeah, so I mean, for me, when I saw it, the first thing I thought was, oh, I would display that on like a little card hold, a card holder or something. Like it
Mhm.
seems more like art to me than a coaster. And I can tell you
Yeah.
firsthand, my wife made some of these for our family members. We had some kids pictures in there and whatnot, and the
Hmm.
trouble she went through just to create, let's say maybe 8 or 9 of these things, it was
Yes.
insane, and so I
Hmm.
know that that there's a high level of work and detail and ethic that goes into this. And yeah, we can call them coasters, but buddy, I think they're far more than that. They're works of art, man, and
Yeah.
that's
Thank
what drew
you.
me to them.
That's what,
Artistic
I
talent.
started out and I was like, I'm going to make some coasters out of cards, and that's kind of what I started out doing. And I was painting, um, the first things I made, I was painting basketball courts, and you piece them together like a puzzle. And I was selling them. I was making like 50 cents an hour probably when I did the math, because it was just like I just needed to see if there was some interest out there.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But I appreciate what you're saying. That's why I named myself or my company uh, Classic Card Tiles, because yeah, they started out as coasters. That was the original goal, but then they turned into things that um, you know that I hope people display on a stand. I think about 30% of my customers buy them as like conversation piece fancy
Hmm.
coasters that they actually use, and they hold up pretty well with that. I use a fancy resin for it, but yeah, my hope is that people display them proudly. And I gotta get I sell like a little stand along with them now, so people can display them in a stand. But I've got some stuff in my brain about like a special kind of stand that I gotta roll out one of these days. So stay tuned, that'll come someday.
Maybe some like LEDs, some Wi-Fi built into that bad boy. Like you could
Yeah,
make a
that
whole
would
thing
go.
out of.
That would go with my thing of just maybe going overboard on the design. So
So we had a small disagreement when we right before you came on. Basically, he didn't know that your tiles were layered with the neoprene, the hardwood, and then the resin top layer. I think
yeah,
he thought they were actually
Hold on, I
That's
didn't
pretty
know
good.
about the wood part, right? So
Okay.
my interpretation, okay, so I like to go into this having you explain everything to us because I want to go
Mm.
in as the dummy, and you know, I want it to be simply made. So he was mentioning the wood part, but I didn't know that. So like, how, I guess, kind of top to bottom, how is one of these made?
All right. So here, yeah, here's the short version of it. So I
Yeah.
start out with 1/8 inch birch hardwood, like 3-ply hardwood, and then I cut it and I sand it and I seal it because it's got to be real smooth. Otherwise, if I do painting on it and stuff,
Gotcha. Yeah.
it'll
Yeah. Yeah.
bleed into the wood grain.
Hmm.
So I learned that the hard way. So I do that. I get it all prepped, and then depending on the card, I paint a design. So I'm sitting at my desk now, so I've got like tons of Posca pens.
Okay.
So that's usually what I use for design. I've got like all the different sizes. So that's kind of fun. But so I do that, paint the design. I use a lot of packaging, so usually it's like the card and then the wrapper that the card would have come in. So I cut that to size. Nowadays, I back the wrapper. So I have like a wrapper here. This is, I think, a 79. I get 79 and 78 baseball mixed up, but now I put like a little white vinyl behind it so that it doesn't bleed through the color, so the color pops. Um, I glue that on and then I seal it with a glue sealer. Then that's got to cure, and then I pour the resin on it. And if the resin works out, then I paint the edges, and then I paint the back, and then I put the neoprene backing on, along with the sticker that has the information about the tile.
Yeah. I saw
So
even the back had the information and some kind of graphics on there. That was pretty cool. I thought it was just
Honestly,
going to be
that,
like a
yeah,
flats, like
that's one of my
neoprene.
favorite parts about it, and I think that that's kind of what makes it like like an art piece, right? Is
Hmm.
that you've got, you know, something that collectors really like is they like to, rarity is one of those things that they really like, you know, and they like to have a piece that not everybody has, you know, and
mhm.
you create stuff like that, and then, you know, you've got maybe a numbered process on the back of them or whatever, and it's like, you know, nobody can have that. It's one of one. This was my creation, your creation, out of our minds. It's just, it's really neat that way, and I think that that sticker on the back kind of sets it all off.
Yeah, thank you. It's been an evolution. When I first started, I didn't sign them or anything because I was just kind of thinking of them more simply. But as it's grown, I started signing the back of them. Then I
Oh,
started
cool.
signing the front of them, and then more recently, I created that bigger label on the back with the additions and that kind of stuff. So now I've got a lot to track to make sure I'm not like duplicating some of those additions and things. But
I
Exactly.
mean, what's your biggest edition run on on any one tile? I mean, do you do up more than 20, or is it like, you know, 5 or
I have like basic designs that are just open edition. So I do some of the more basic things. Let me see if I have one handy.
we've actually got one, I think. Let me see if I can add this here to the screen. Um, Troy, do you think you
Oh
could
yeah,
start that one up? Just
Yeah,
so
the
it's
Michael Jordan.
spinning. Yeah, yeah. This one here. So this is,
nice.
yeah, that's pretty sweet, man. I mean,
Yeah.
and
Thank
you've
you.
got it in front of the retro boombox, like the framing of the
Yeah.
picture. Right?
The
It's just
marketing is
perfect.
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's
So
been a fun part of the learning curve for me. Yeah, so that one's an open edition. But what I like to do, kind of like how card companies do it, I have like kind of a basic design, and that's one that if it's real popular, I can just make it. But there is a numbered system, so you kind of know where you're at in the number. And I don't make that many of these because it takes a bit of time. I make
Mhm.
them in batches of about 20 to 30, and a batch usually takes about 2 weeks.
oh my
Mainly
god.
because it's not my day job,
Primary job.
so I've
Yeah.
got other
Yeah.
stuff going
Exactly.
on.
Yeah.
But even though it's an open edition, there's not going to be that many of them, and so there will be a point where I can kind of say, okay, well, this edition is over, and I got to like 27 on it or something. But I do. Then I can kind of create a more intricate design off the same card and the same wrapper, and um, and then
What's
those ones are more limited.
it's yeah, it's kind of like a chase card or something of that edition. You know, you've got maybe 2 or 3 super limited chase cards of that same style or something. But yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that's
Yeah. Yeah,
That's,
exactly.
that's the way you want to go with that. So how long have you? I don't know if we got to that part. How long you been doing this? I mean, 20 years,
Started
10 years?
I started actually selling them in 2019, and so it was kind of early COVID era. Like a lot of people, I was just kind of
Yep.
discovering some new ways to spend my time. And it was quite a deep rabbit hole I went down, like learning how to do the resin and
I was going
figuring
to
out
ask
where to
about that as
source
well too.
materials and all that.
Whether or not you were familiar with any kind of woodworking or sanding or cutting or use of the resins or anything like that before this all started.
I had not used resin before, no, and that
Mhm.
was a learning curve. Man, the early stuff, I still keep it just, for nostalgic reasons, I guess, but it's pretty ugly. And the cheap resin, um, man, don't buy the cheap stuff. If anyone's watching this and you're thinking about dabbling, just don't go to like Michael's or Joanne Fabric or something and buy whatever they have because it's not going to go well. It's going
Right.
to be weird and sticky and yellow. But um, yeah, I just kind of went and bought it. I grew up, my dad is a real handy guy, and I
Mhm.
grew up kind of helping him. My day job is not so handy. I do more like work people, social services kind of thing. Um, but I needed something. I kind of like having something to work with my hands and stuff.
Yeah,
So
sure.
I think I was handy before, but yeah, I really had to learn the hard way a lot about the resin. There was like some different stages. At first it was just figuring out how to get it to like cure well, and like you got to mix it just right, and you got to
Using a two-part or using like a
essentially
UV.
it's not the UV resin, but it would
Yeah.
be fun to experiment with that. I use a brand called Stone Coat Countertops, and so their main product is actually for kitchen countertops.
Yeah, yeah, doing like
And I chose them partially because I was
epoxy chip
thinking in
kind of thing.
terms of like I wanted it to hold up well if people were putting a hot coffee cup on there or something like
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
But they have a line of it. It's like the same stuff, but it's for art. And so there's like UV
Awesome.
protection, and it's got extra like yellow resistance
Yeah,
resin
epoxies can
instead of
like
yellow
really
over
yellow,
time.
especially with any kind of UV light happening to them.
Yeah, yeah. So I've never, I have my old stuff, and so far so good. In 5 years, I don't see any sign of degrading and stuff. So hopefully
That's great.
it'll stay like that. But,
Yeah, that's
fighting
pretty
the
cool.
bubbles, fighting the dust, all of that kind of stuff is,
I
Do you
saw
use
one
a
of your
pressure pot
videos.
of any kind or?
I do. Yeah,
Mhm.
that was one step that before I did that, it was really hard to get the little tiny bubbles out,
Mhm.
so I was
Mhm.
fighting those and torching it, and sometimes I couldn't get like the little micro bubbles out, so it would look a little bit
A little
foggy,
hazy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So then yeah, I got one of those, and that's a game changer. So then
Mhm.
I have a whole routine. I mix it all up. I use a power drill to stir it in real good, and then I like
Yep.
take it out to the garage where I've got my vacuum pump. I put that on and vacuum all the bubbles out, and then I come back in here.
So it's a
Um,
lot more detailed process than just slapping some stuff together, gluing this, gluing that. I mean, you've got it really down to a science. I mean, I think I saw in one video you've got individual covers for these, so they're
yeah,
drying and I mean, I think it's like 20 covers. I'm like, wow, like this is not just the 5 minute video I watched on YouTube about how to do something like this. It's like it's very intricate. I mean, you've got a lot
Mhm.
going on.
yeah. Thank you. It is. I take pride in the fact that I've like way almost like overthought every single moment of every step. There's like all these little things that I've learned kind of through trial and error, what to do, what not to do, that kind of thing. So yeah, the little covers, that was because it couldn't get the dust out with like a big cover. So I needed each one to have its own thing. So it only had like a
Just the
split second of
individual little
time.
covers. That's great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, I like how I think you said in that video, you dabbed the epoxy on the top. So you know that when that dried, you were probably close to dry with your timer or whatever the case may be. I thought
Mhm.
that, like I said, I thought that level of detail and care in the process, I mean, it really comes through in the end product, right? You're providing something that's super awesome, just in the nostalgia portion of it, but also the detail of it is just
It's a
top
quality
notch.
product. Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's top
fantastic.
notch.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
for sure.
Appreciate that.
So let me ask you, the cards, you collected the cards. Is there anything else that you're, tickles your fancy as far as collecting, or maybe gaming, or are you into movies? Like what else do you find doing in your spare time outside of this?
You know, I mean, old radios. That's why I use them in the background. That one that I use all the time, it just seems to work the best. But I was kind of bummed because it's a good excuse to buy other old radios and boom
Mhm.
boxes and stuff. And I bought one, and I thought it would be a good like next one to use. Um, but it just has a weird reflection with the photography lighting and
On the
stuff.
cassette right there.
Yeah, yeah, that's the
Yeah.
problem. So I like those cat like old watches. I like not even anything expensive. I don't not even trying to collect anything with the watches that are valuable. In fact, I think the cheaper the better. I just like the old Casio stuff. So
I was about to ask Casio, or like you're
Ev-
talking mechanical or something like that. But I'm
yeah,
sure he's got the
yeah.
Casio with the calculator.
I
Oh,
don't know if you've
I
seen the
do have some
movie.
calculator
Oh
ones,
my
but
gosh. So listen, I don't know if you've ever seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles with John
The
Candy and Steve
Casio.
Martin. But
it's been a
he's got,
while. But yeah, I've
yeah,
seen
he
that one.
drapes the Casio over his arm. He's like, I've got a Casio. And I'm like, oh my God. I think it's that same
Yeah.
watch.
I need to watch it again because that moment would resonate with me. I like that
Yeah,
one.
totally. That's cool, man. So yeah, I know I find myself going to, I collect all kinds of stuff, from pops to comics to, cards to, you name it. I pretty much kind of collect it, and I find myself at thrift stores, or occasionally if I can get out to even flea markets. I just love going and finding neat stuff, and I'm sure watches that was never on my list, but I'm gonna have to search now for the neat watches, the
Dive
For
in,
sure,
calculators.
yeah.
and there's got to be some great finds at like flea markets.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you inspiration, right?
Hmm.
Do you find yourself, Travis, like hurting for inspiration every once in a while? Is it like the art process in that way? Like, or do you constantly have a new project on a whiteboard? Because it strikes me as that maybe is the kind of guy you are. Like, you've got a direction, ready to go. Is that the case, or?
Now, so I built a collection. The irony of it is that I very first I was like, okay, I got to get rid of these cards that I had. So I had like one box, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna make these things. Well, and that then I won't have to lug them around anymore. And now, like you can see behind me, I've got way more cards than before.
So you,
But
so
I mean, it would
it
take me like eight.
started with getting rid of them, but ended up with I have more now. Like,
Yeah, and I love like even sports I wasn't even into as a kid. I'm into now because I interact with these folks that are so passionate about. Like I didn't follow hockey when I was a kid. I,
mhm.
I knew who Wayne Gretzky was, but I've had customers reach out about like a certain guy that, and then they kind of share like why they care so much about it that they
Oh,
want
that's
to
amazing.
hire me to create a tile for them. And then I find myself like looking for that guy. It's like, oh, that I'm gonna buy that card now because I know the story about him and I know how it affected this person.
That's cool.
Um, I
Yeah,
played
that's really cool.
baseball, but to be honest, I didn't collect those cards as much because I was so focused on basketball. But now it's like just kind of vicariously through the folks that I interact with, I hear the stories and I get more interested in it. So it's caused me to it's kind of bled over into a lot of things. Comic books, I'm probably more into now than I was as a kid. I love the artwork in comic books, and so it's fun for me to find a way to frame that and to like accentuate it in the product that I make. Um,
What's your favorite comic book one that you've created? Like, have you, are you doing covers? Are you doing comic cards? I mean, I think I've seen both. I mean, what's your kind of your favorite one to do?
yeah, well, so there's a couple things. One, I like the cards that they made. Early '90s is always going to catch my attention just because that was my childhood. That's what I'm nostalgic about.
Yep.
So when I pair like a early '90s card, like Wolverine or some
Yeah,
of these
we'd seen
guys
the
that are so
Wolverine one pop
classic.
up. That was
Oh yeah, there
great.
we go.
Yeah.
Um, so that one is the card and then the matching pack wrapper, and that one's fun because it's got a lot of metallic like
Yeah.
holographic
Yeah, that
kind
really
of
stood out to
imagery.
me.
So when you see it in hand, it's really kind of
Impressive.
pops.
Yeah.
And that's the fun with the resin is it brings out that holographic stuff so much.
Well, I mean, and it cases it. I mean, it foreverizes it, I guess, would be my layman's term for that.
Yeah,
It,
'cause
Mhm,
it's
I'm sure that
mhm.
foil over time can probably, you know, not last very well.
Right. And now
It's,
it's, I mean, now it's forever. Yeah. I mean,
Hmm.
so I'm a big fan of like the early 90s cards as well for those. The Impel set with the white border.
yeah.
Um, version 1 and 2 are probably my old school sets because that's what we traded when we were kids. So yeah, I really love that. What about comic covers? Have you dipped into, hacking up a piece of a cover and done that?
Yeah, so that more of that's coming soon because I just got I did a trade with somebody and got a big old box of comic books that I'm pretty excited to use.
Nice.
So that's a new one. I just sold a Wolverine one recently that I was pretty excited about, and that one actually. So that project you just showed, I had cut out the cover and framed it so that the card was actually going to go over it. But
Oh,
every
that's
time I
right.
put the
That blue
card on it,
cover. Yeah, I think I see that, right? The blue Wolverine with his slicing through
yeah,
the cover.
exactly,
Okay, yep.
yeah. So that one was supposed to have that card from that previous one you just showed, but
Hmm.
it's like I couldn't cover up that image of the cover. It looked too good, and every time I tried to figure out a way to finagle it with the card, I was like, I just need to just post it as it is in its simplicity. And it sold, and as a business person, I kind of follow like what sells, and so that gives
Yeah.
me feedback if it's people telling me what's valuable to them when they pay their money for it. So yeah, more to come. I'm going to experiment with that and see how I can frame these amazing comic book covers and art using my tiles. So that'll be a fun road to go down.
Have
So I
you
gotta ask.
considered, hold on, have you
Mhm.
considered using larger tiles? Like, have you thought about doing mosaics on maybe the 12-inch or the 13-inch tile? Is that possible?
Yeah, I got to go back to that. So when I first started doing this, I branched out into some bigger things. I was at the time I was really focused on painting hardwood courts, like NBA courts. So I was doing like 16 by was it 24 by 12 size courts,
Wow.
and I put the cards on there. And that was pretty fun. I the kind of requires a whole different workflow and things. And then the tiles were selling so well that I don't have like unlimited time, so I just kind of went back to them. And that 4x4,
Yeah.
it's just kind of easy to
It's
have
easy. Yep.
Hmm.
a predictable product. But at the same time, even like one more inch, if they were 5x5, it would open up the door for a lot more detail to go in there, especially because I'm limited. I don't print materials, like I don't photocopy and then I can't like shrink it down or anything because I just like
Yeah.
the history of using like the actual material. So it's
Sure.
always the real card, the real wrapper, the real comic book page. Um, all of that. So that does limit me sometimes when there's like a beautiful image, but with a 4x4 section of it is just not going to look right. So
Right.
then I kind of have those things on the back burner. But yeah, I think I never know like from month to month what I might end up doing. And sometimes I'll have someone reach out like that idea you just shared, and they'll say, "Hey, can you do this for me?" And then I do it. So
Kind of give it a
maybe
shot. Yeah.
someday.
Yeah.
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 Troy, what were you gonna say?
We got to talk about this one right here. Let me throw this guy up here. I believe it's this one. Is that it? Yes, it is. It's all right. It's the
Hey, Vanilla
it's
Ice.
yeah, it's the vanilla ice. It's the vanilla ice. So I think the card style, it's a superstars. I've just never heard of this kind of card brand before. Like what is this all about? Is it
Is that like
album
a
art
Fleer?
or
I mean, yeah. Like, what is that?
So yeah, I didn't know about these as a kid, but now I have my eyes out for different like new things I can try. And there's a seller on Etsy. I wish I had his name. I'd plug him. But I can send that to you later if you'd like. But he
Sure.
sells like lots of like 4 packs of these kind of random. Some of it's not random. It's like baseball stuff that we've seen before, but some of it's like this. So Pro Set. This is 1991, I believe. Pro Set. They call them music cards. So I bought I think 4 packs of them. Super excited to get my guy Vanilla Ice in there. I wanted to be like him
Ice Ice
when he was
Baby? Yeah.
popular.
What about some
And
hammer? Is there some? There's got to be some hammer pants in
there's
there.
a MC Hammer. I didn't pull it, but I think I got to go back to the well and get the MC Hammer one. I
Sure.
got some
Yeah.
more wrappers, and
And it
I
brings
was
back,
excited with how
with
it
the
turned
boom
out.
box and everything. It brings back so many memories of
Yeah.
Yeah.
recording these songs and putting together. I remember my Justin Jay Bleasy here had the Vanilla Ice uh, cassette, at one point.
And
It
we
was
wore it
fantastic.
out. Yeah. I mean, it
Oh
was
yeah.
like, it was one of the few cassettes that I had that the parents didn't know about. I slid that
Mhm.
one under the pillow at night, even though, I mean, we all know at this point, Vanilla Ice is probably the least racy rapper in the world. But
Yeah.
for us,
Yeah.
for us, he was pushing the limits of raciness,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's a great card. I'd love to see some more from that style because I think that you're hitting on something with that.
Cool. Yeah, it's fun to. I mean, who knew they made so many types of cards back then? I was so focused on one thing, and now that I'm doing this, and people ask questions, like they made cards for everything back then. So,
Have anybody asked you for like any kind of like garbage patch or garbage pail kids or
yeah,
anything
yeah,
of that
yeah.
nature? Kind of like off the wall non-sports, other than like celebrities.
I've made some garbage pail projects. I had to come around on them. I didn't like them when I was a kid. I
Okay.
hope that doesn't offend anybody here,
No,
but
no.
We
I
actually couldn't have them, so yeah, we get what you're
Yeah.
we get your pain.
yeah, and
We
my
came.
mom
We
follows
came from a
me.
strict
I'm not gonna
background.
lie.
So.
My mom follows me, and it grieves her a bit when if I post a garbage pail kid one. I love my mom, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not so bad, right? For the most part, and that was my most requested non-sports thing was the garbage pail
Okay.
kids one.
Cool.
So yeah, I did one. It sold quickly, and then I've just been caught up so much with custom orders lately that I haven't like gone back to that. But yeah, more garbage pail kids are coming.
yeah,
Awesome.
that'd be cool. I think there's some Dick Tracy cards. I'd love to see maybe something like that. Or I think there's Batman Return. There's so many. I
Oh
actually
yeah.
went to a no, a yard sale. It was a yard sale. A guy was selling off his collection, and you're right. It's interesting from that time frame. 80s and 90s. There's a card for everything. Number one. And
Mhm.
number two, there's an action figure for everything. I mean, we
Yeah.
did we merchandised the crap out of whatever
Oh,
happened.
Mel Brooks' famous line: "Merchandising, merchandising, merchandising."
Mhm.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. It was an
So
interesting time.
you asked a good question that I don't think I answered a while back, and that's like if I run out of creative ideas. So I took a real long-winded way of saying I don't because there's like a million cards
Mhm.
that I go through, and maybe I can only make a batch of 25, and it sometimes it's like too many ideas, and then I have to like
Yeah.
maybe I lay out 50 ideas, and I'm trying to think of what I like and then what my customers might be interested in, and then I have to put some away. And yeah, it's I could be busy for a while doing this thing, even just in the narrow path that I'm on now. But
Exactly.
it's uh yeah, there's a lot to do.
Have you had anybody uh, famous reach out to you? I mean, it looks like you've got some reach. You're making an awesome product. You're making it of superstars that are no longer necessarily in the limelight. So a lot of those guys might be more apt to reach out or to get a product of themselves made. And
Mhm.
anybody famous?
So my most famous, I wouldn't say I've had a famous customer. I did have a previous MLB baseball player um, order some of his card, and then his grandpa was in the 1952 top
Oh
set.
wow.
So he sent me the 1952 tops um, card of his grandpa, and then also his rookie card.
What?
My customer wasn't in the
That's
league real
awesome.
long, but that was such a cool story, like that
Yeah.
connection between the generations in the family. So that was a meaningful project, and that was kind of cool just to have a baseball player want me to memorialize his time that way.
I
Yeah,
love them
absolutely. I
stories.
mean,
These stories are so great.
well, right, because every card has a story, and that's the same for I think most collectors is they can grab that card up and they can tell you, hey, this was at this point in my life, and this is where I was at, and this is what was going on. And
Hmm.
I know like a lot of my cards are of that time frame you were talking about, the let's call it the mid to 80s to maybe 92, 93. And I mean, I can pick up my 87 set of tops, that wood grain set, and I just,
Mhm.
I remember trading that set amongst the kids in the neighborhood, getting my Jose Canseco rookies, and just cards like you said earlier. It was baseball for me, but
Mhm.
cards that you thought would be worth a gazillion bucks when you're 20 years down the road, and they're worth only a couple pennies. But the nostalgia, that's priceless. That's why I lug them from house to house.
Well, that's
Yeah.
why we're all here in the first place, anyways. In the collectibles and memorabilia community.
Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. Yeah. So, I mean, let me ask you this. I mean, we can kind of, unless you've got anything else on your mind, we can kind of close her out. But one of the questions I like to ask towards the end is, my brother and I, we're both married. We've got kids running around. It's tough to often find time to do stuff like the show or other projects that we're on and things we want to do with our time. Are you
Mhm.
married? Do you have kids? Do you find it, if so, is it hard to juggle this? Is the wife standing just off the screen there like mine, just like, hurry up, we've got dinner? Like, how does that go for you?
Yeah, I'm married, and I've got 4 kids, and yeah, the life is busy right now. The way we're doing this call is that my wife has a timeout with her ladies, so she's over at her friend's house, and
Nice.
then 2 of my kids are at a sleepover with grandparents, which wasn't because of this, but that just kind of helped. And then my boys are playing a basketball video game on the other side of the wall over here, so kept
Nice.
There
them
you go.
busy with the screen time. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
It's
yeah,
awesome.
it is a challenge finding time between my day job and then I got to be a family man first, right? And so
Sure.
that's the number one priority.
Yep.
Sleep is the thing that takes the biggest hit, honestly. So
Ugh,
during the
all the
week, I got
time.
some
Like,
orders coming in, and yeah, just kind of
yeah, the bags.
sacrifice sleep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but when you're doing like that's the thing too, is when you're doing something you love. Like even tonight for us, we're on the East Coast, so it's like 10:45. But I'm energized, man, because this is
Yeah.
something I like to do,
Mhm.
and I totally get that. I think I maybe bag maybe five hours of good sleep a night. Maybe
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
Usually, yeah.
I've got a lot of kids too. I've got our fifth daughter is actually on the way.
Hey, congratulations.
Yeah, so I'm a man of many daughters. You said you got boys, so maybe down in the future, we can dowry them off to you. And but long story short is, yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think it's tough to find time, and it's always family first, right? So
Yep.
if I got yelled at 5 minutes from now to get off the stream, I'd have to get off the stream, right?
It's time to get
That's
off.
right.
All right, well, Travis, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for stopping by.
I really do. Giving us a shot. I know
This
we
was
didn't have a
fun.
lot of stuff for you to kind of look at, but I hope you enjoyed it. We really do want to just kind of shine light on people in the communities that we're in. And we're like a buy local type thing, we want people to really invest in people that are doing something positive in the community. They're actually doing something at all, and I think that people should support that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I really
exactly.
appreciate it. Thanks for the chance to be here, and it's really nice meeting you guys. I love what you guys are doing.
Yeah,
So
thank you so much. Nice meeting you
I'll be
too.
a viewer going forward too. So I'm excited to see what you guys come up
Awesome.
with.
Cool. We appreciate it. We're going to put this on probably, let's just say we'll do this next week's show. We'll run this live during our live show. So if you want to catch it or if you want to promote it throughout the week, great. Travis, we loved having you, man. It was awesome.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, fantastic,
All right,
Travis.
thanks.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
All right. Well,
Yo.
thanks everybody sticking around for that awesome interview with Travis. That was
It was a great
fantastic.
interview. Yeah.
It was a
It
great
was so
interview,
good.
yeah. And they
So,
all have been, like, and I really just enjoy the passion that these guys have for this community. Like that they're producing these kind of products, that it's community driven. It's fantastic.
yeah. And speaking of community, an interesting tidbit. I don't know if you saw any of the back and forth before. Before we started really getting into this interview, I found out afterwards.
All right.
Dude,
And
it cuts out so
welcome.
quick. There we go. I kind of found out through a roundabout way that Jay Clark, Josh,
Mhm.
he actually has some of his product made by
Yeah, I
Travis
saw that
on
earlier.
tiles.
Yeah. That's
And
amazing.
yeah, so he sent over some pictures during the week of the
Mhm.
actual big tiles that Travis makes that he was talking about in the beginning, where he does the full courts and everything.
Yeah.
He actually had some pictures of that, so he sent
It's
those
game
over.
recognized game.
Yeah, I mean, it was really, really awesome when I saw it happen and go down. And I'm like, wow. I was like, what do you know? Like the first inaugural interview has done some type of collab with the second interview. So
Mhm.
I guess we really must be kind of on to something.
Yeah,
And
man.
it looks like we got a lot of viewers tonight, a lot more than normal. I don't know if those are all for Travis, but I want to thank everybody that
If so,
stopped in
awesome.
tonight.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much for coming through, guys.
For
Love
sure.
it.
Hopefully, you kind of like what we're doing here. You kind of see the vision, kind of see where we're going. We got a little bit more show left, and we're going to get to that. But once again, just wanted to thank you all
Yeah.
for showing up tonight, showing your support. It's always good to support somebody in the community that's doing something positive, doing
Mhm.
something cool. So we've got another interview ready to go. I think we'll probably get
From
that one
England,
in.
actually.
Yes, from the
From
UK.
from foggy London town.
From and honestly, man, I've been doing some digging on this, and this is another pretty good size account, man. Like, this is a group that's really doing some cool stuff, and
Mhm.
we're gonna talk about that. We'll
Yeah.
talk about their website and whatnot. I'm gonna start promoting that this week. I don't like to cross promote a new hangout when we are on the week of a hangout, so I like to let that
Mhm.
hangout happen and play out first, and
Yeah.
then we kind of are able to give the
So
next
stay on the
hangout its
watch,
due. Yeah,
folks.
I want
Yeah.
everybody to have their time, right? And
Mhm.
so we'll do that next Monday. I think get that up. Literally, we'll do it Monday, and I think that we'll get it up for the show Tuesday. So
Mhm.
it'll be a quick turnaround on that. But it's gaming time, man.
Yeah,
It is
man. You
time
gotta,
to game.
you have to
Yeah,
speed run Mario.
Mario One
Player
speed run.
2 had his chance last week, and I did very poorly. So let's see what Big Brother can knock out here.
Brother.
Brother, yeah, well, Pism was here earlier. So
He was here earlier. Oh, and
brother.
I wanted to share this real quick before we go to that. Chet went from co-star or co-host to star in 30 seconds. What was that? When I closed out of the show? Were you basking in the sunlight, you bastard? I know it. I know it. We've got viewers. They're telling on you, man. They're totally telling on you.
That's why I had that song produced that way, man. I'm telling you,
It,
it's a
it
slow
was
roll. Like,
it was another flawless take by you, though. It was great because I came back in and you hadn't skipped a beat. You weren't like, "Oh, where are we? What are we doing?" Like, I blood, man. That's
yeah,
how it
that's what we
works.
do.
That's how it
We're
works. It's in the blood.
natural entertainers.
I guess you could call it that. Let me get in here. Okay, I think I've got this up. Let me add it to the stage. Here we go.
All
Okay.
right, so I didn't get this clear last week. How are we keeping track of time, really?
Well, we're really like, I mean, you didn't make it out of the first board without a continue. So I guess
I
it's
know, I know.
your time is irrelevant.
That's true. It's very true.
Yeah,
It's very true. So
it's totally irrelevant.
I'll
So
take that. I'll take that.
just take it on the chin because
Yeah,
we
yeah.
all saw it. We all saw it. So, yeah, I think in a normal world we might have like a little stopwatch off to the side, and we can
Yeah.
kind of do that. Clock it just the overall
Uh-huh.
time. Because I don't think it's fair to really count the time in between the boards. There's no running clock, but I mean it does count. I think
Well,
if you look
yeah,
at the
because
real
like
speed
the
runs,
time up at the top like is faster than a second.
yes, yeah,
So it's not a real second. So you could pay attention to that, but like, who is doing that at the end of the match? You know, like, you'd have to have somebody else doing that. So yeah, stopwatch would be nice. I did realize that yes, there is definitely a real kind of lag
yeah,
information thing between the controller and the emulator.
yep, yep.
Uh, I mean, it's fractions of a
But it's
second,
enough.
but it's
It's
enough.
enough.
It's enough. You
Yeah,
know,
it's
in a game
enough.
like this, in a super strict platformer, it's enough.
Yeah,
Like,
it totally is enough. When I first got started getting back into this, I picked up another Nintendo because obviously ours has been sold
mhm,
long time ago. I grabbed one and I was going to do the HDMI option without any mods on the system because I didn't know better. So,
mhm.
I put it up there and I felt impossible to play because one of the things about Mario 1 is when you press the jump button and you can really kind of almost control how hard you jump, like
Yeah, you
you can
can.
light tap
Yeah,
it
for
and
sure.
it's a light small jump. You firm tap it, or you can hold it like it's strange.
Which
And
is kind of like it's kind of like groundbreaking for an early game like that.
yeah, it's one of those type of games. It's just you have to have a feel, you have to have a rhythm, and
Mhm.
that's another reason why you probably didn't do so great is because you really don't have a rhythm at it. I have been back in it for the last couple months, so I've been playing it here and there. But
I mean, yeah, that's 100% too.
the only difference I could see that was really the problem was the lag. And I'm obviously tonight I'll be playing. You were emulating last week. I'm going to be kind of doing a hybrid of that tonight. I have got the
What's your
original
setup?
NES. I've got the original NES. I've got
Mhm.
27-inch Sanyo flat screen CRTV that I'll be playing it on.
Ooh,
And
27 inch too.
yeah, it's a beaut, man. It's a pretty one.
It's got to be
Actually,
heavy
my
as all hell too, right?
one of my oh dude, it's 60 pounds, every bit of it. It's yeah, it's a burden trying to move this around. But I'll be playing on that TV, and then I'll be using a cartridge, a multi-cart
Mhm.
for the game. But I mean, this is a pretty basic port. There's not much to this. It's pretty much original. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna get her going, man. Let's
Yeah,
see
let's
what
do
I
this.
can do here.
On a random
Um,
thought that I just had when you just mentioned that, it would be very interesting for me to like, or maybe even the community to hear stories about moving CRT TVs. Uh, if anybody has like really interesting stories, because I have really interesting stories about moving CRT TVs uh, myself.
Wait
So,
a minute. So what do you mean, like moving CRT
like
TVs?
actually physically moving them from their location to a new location. So, like,
Are you
say,
telling me
oh,
you want people to write in or call in or whatever it is that we do in and talk about like how they use like a dolly to move a TV?
sure, why not? Like,
Well, tell me a story. Give me an example.
so, Dominic,
Yes.
uh,
Yes. One of your
his
lifelong
father,
buddies from high school.
yes,
Yep.
yeah, his father, a perpetual um, musician bum, living on the beach, playing music at bars. This is his existence, and he's like almost 70.
Right.
Uh, we had to like move him out of an apartment one time, and I agreed to help Dominic with that. And at
Dude,
the
don't ever
time,
agree. Yeah, don't ever agree
yeah.
if unless you know the full scope. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, now I have a truck. I own dollies. Like, like I have back braces.
Yeah.
It's a different world.
Right.
But then it was not. I was a teenager.
You were young, a young Padawan in the ways of moving.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, Padawan. Even people asking me to move and like understanding what that meant in the first place. Uh, and so he probably had one of the largest CRTVs that I could think of. It was probably like somewhere around like what is it, like a 45-inch?
Wow. That's
It
pretty big.
it was massive,
Do you remember
massive.
Dad's? I mean, not to cut that off, but do you remember Dad's wooden one? I mean, do you think it was
Yeah.
bigger than
Oh
that?
yeah. It was bigger than that. Yeah. And it was a
That
little
was
more modern than that too.
that was a big TV though.
Yeah. And so we had to move this down. It was an apartment complex, so it had those kind of like down landing down kind of sections.
Pain in the
Uh
ass to move if
yeah,
you live on a
with
second
no
floor. Yeah.
dolly, with no back braces. And like, it's Dominic and I, and the
Which
size of Dominic. Like
right. I mean,
he's
you're a skinny guy. You got some height to you, but you're a pretty skinny guy. Dominic is
yeah,
both height challenged and weight challenged.
yeah. Like there's nothing he can grab. Oh, you didn't go for the you couldn't see if you could slide into that real quick?
I don't need to.
Not for the speed run? Okay.
Not for the speed run, man.
Yeah.
I'm avoiding. Remember the rules. The rules were we avoid all coins that are unnecessary. All moves that we can that are unnecessary, we avoid. We can
I
warp.
know. I know. You told me too many rules, and with my ADHD, it was
Yeah,
a
that's true.
lot.
That's a good
So
point.
I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna play it, and then if I do something wrong, he'll tell me.
I mean, yeah, but I don't think you did, other than need to continue in round one.
Yeah, well, that
That was the
happens.
only thing. Yeah,
And here we go.
yeah. I'm about to beat this bad boy.
Well, I made it to 8-2, bitch.
Did you?
I did make it to
The
8.
second or third time?
I mean, obviously after the first continue that you mentioned.
Yes, that's true. That's a solid point.
Those are unnecessary coins.
It's all unnecessary. I'm not going to get an extra life out of it at this point, for the time being. Not the one that I need anyway.
I still don't think you'll do it. I think you're gonna lose.
Nah.
What do you guys think? You think he's gonna lose?
Comment in the
He's playing,
chats.
yeah,
Am I
he's
gonna
playing pretty well.
lose?
Oh, he's staying for the star. He's got to get the star. Oh,
That's
the
all
slow
part of the
drum. Yeah,
rhythm
that
thing.
slow drum could have been dangerous right there.
I mean, that's the star is all part of the rhythm thing because my fingers are used to doing that move where I just speed through that, you know?
That's where I failed last time. I almost had it.
Failed. Failure.
And that is why you fail.
Dude, that's really good. That was really, really good.
Thanks. I did some work for Star Wars and George Lucas back in the day.
You know, yeah, like whenever that was. Dude, you gotta get on the there should be sounds for this, right? Like don't you have the soundboard. You could be I would be messing with that right now. The problem is last week we had the power outage, which made me have to run completely off a cell phone, which was ridiculous. And this week, I don't have to do that, but now you could be messing with it. I mean,
Yeah, but you haven't done anything embarrassing yet. So like,
all of my moves could be fart sounds or something,
Well-
though. Who knows?
yeah, but that's not cool. Like,
Oh shit!
oh, there we go.
Run! Go! Get to the chopper! Run! Go!
Do we have loop selected on here? Come on, we can't be looping shit.
Loop.
Loop. I am.
It was Loop. I am your sound file.
Can't. Wow.
Loop.
I guarantee you, there's probably not a lot of Gen Z listening to us. Otherwise, it'd be like, these guys are just old dads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Righty then. Oh, righty
Oh
then.
God, we have to stop the loop.
That's the best part about it, man. Is the loop. Are you kidding me?
Well, maybe the
The
best part
super
about it is
loop.
the fact that like we have not figured out the technology that like we ushered in to everybody.
No, you're right. It's a good point. Oh my gosh.
Hammer
Sprayed
Brothers
the
gone.
pooch.
Brother. Get it! Oh, another set of Ham Brothers come up here soon with this wall.
There's another chance though.
Yeah, not with these ones though. Like I'm talking about the ones that are just on the ground where the wall is.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah. First
Bum,
life.
bum, ba-dum.
That was
Yep.
okay. I feel you. I deserved every bit of that. Oh, shizzle. He's taking too many chances, folks.
You know where I'm at with this.
Oh,
You got
my
one more
God.
life, I believe, right?
No, I got 3.
Oh shit,
Yeah.
you have a lot more.
Yeah, I got.
See if I can fuck you up.
Probably can.
Speed run that, bitch.
Luke, I am your father.
Brother.
Okay.
Damn. Get up there. You don't have to get that at the same time. There you go.
Hey, you listen here, buddy. I'm gonna do my speed run my way. You do your speed run your way.
Whoa. That was a glitch. Yeah, mine involves a lot of dying, and that is a great plan that just happened there. Wow.
You like that?
Hold on.
You like that?
I do like that. Hitting that turtle shell to get them out of the way. Yeah, it was fantastic. Bam.
Well,
Here
it
we
either.
go.
So here's the secret. It either hits them or it glitches, which will allow you to kind of just
Oh.
jump over them, jump through them. So
I think that's what I saw.
all right. Do you remember the pattern?
I don't.
There's a pattern to the tubes. The tubes.
And with the white Goombas, why does it got to be a color?
Did you understand it? If I make it to Bowser with this big, it's over. Game over.
Yeah, I mean, like it's already game over. Like you beat me in the. I mean, like just like always.
I don't think we were really playing for the beating, though, right?
No.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, that was really close.
I'm trying to give it away. I'm trying to just give it away. That's what's happening.
It's a courtesy.
It's it's a courtesy smackdown. This is, dude, I
Water
lose it here every single time. Like if I have a big, I
Lose
lose
it.
it right there.
What are
Every
you saying? It's like
time.
you're not even speaking English. I lose it when I had a pig.
Shut up.
Oh, God. No, don't do it. Oh, God. Ah!
Every time, man. Right there.
Oh, God, what are you going to do here? Oh, God. Oh, my God. No.
Oh, man. Am I gonna do it, man?
Well,
gonna
I
do
hope
it.
so. How many lives you got left?
I think I got 2.
Ugh,
think I got
why don't they
2.
list that in this game?
They do.
think when you die, yeah, when you come
Yeah,
back. That's right.
yeah.
I was looking away at the screen in shame. So I never see that. I hate
I
those
look
fucking
away in
guys so much.
shame. I hate any shelled creatures in this game. Are you kidding me? They're all a pain in the ass.
In this game especially, yeah.
Well, they have put them right between where they need to be, so they bounce off of everything, you know. And it's
Oh yeah,
like,
they were
okay.
Ooh, I mean, the design of like where they put them was fantastic. Well, you're small too, so you can just walk on the bottom.
Oh,
Oh
bro.
god.
Oh, bro. It's
Oh,
it right
one
here.
left.
This is
This
it.
is it. Got to do it.
This
How
is
many
it,
coins you got? You
man.
got 59 coins. You think you can get
There's
isn't
no
that 41 rock
coins.
in there?
There's no
There's not.
coins. There's nothing in this level that can help you.
Mm,
Nothing that can help
sucks.
me.
It all comes down to this.
I will say this more
Houston, we
often
have
than
a
not when
problem.
I beat this game, I beat it at the last minute, like last life.
Hmm.
Get busy living. Or get busy dying.
Oh,
There it is,
you
folks.
jinxed me, bro.
Righty then.
Oh my gosh.
Bum bum ba bum. Yeah, we'll leave that one for the other one.
Oh,
There it is. Well, you know, we still got some time. So like, why don't we see if we can run it back one more time?
run it back one more time. Okay, you're gonna give me
Yeah.
one more shot at it. Okay.
Yeah. We got
I
some
just
time.
feel like it's not genuine now. I didn't do it the first time. I
I mean,
feel
nobody
like
does it the first time. You think anybody makes that basketball shot on TikTok the first time?
I feel like a fraud.
I mean, we are frauds.
You're like, who isn't? You know,
It's 2024, bro.
we're all
Everybody's a fraud.
frogs. All right.
You
Well, I'll try to
think
make
there's any content creator who's not a fraud?
Is that imposter syndrome that they talk
It
about?
is. Yeah. I mean, it plays deeply into that. Yeah. Like it's all part of that.
Oh my gosh. Well, it looks like we did maintain. Everybody, thanks for
Yeah.
sticking around, watching my bogus first try at beating this.
You guys are awesome. We love you guys.
We do. We love you in that special kind of way. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was good seeing old Pism P. Huh?
Yeah. Well, I was just trying to think of that line from Coming to America, where it's like we would love you when it jingles, but we'd love you more when it folds.
Oh no, the donations.
Yeah.
Yeah, the donations from Sexual Chocolate.
It's sexual chocolate. Sexual
Uh,
chocolate.
Oh my gosh, bro. Like, how does that band even get into the church? Like, we need a band. Who we getting? Sexual
Sexual chocolate.
Yeah,
Well, he's
that's
from
what
the
happened.
community, you know, so
Dude, if only there was somebody in their community that was named Sexual Chocolate. I
why
would
would you
interview
even
them.
go for that? Is it just out of habit at this point? Like the flower? Like you already had it.
Well, okay, so on that jump, originally I'm gonna wait for him to drop that first
Mm-hmm.
dealio, and then sometimes I make the decision that I want to go up there and kill him, but I forget in this board I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
I can just run the board. So oftentimes I sound like freaking Morgan and Morgan. Oftentimes I find that
Oftentimes.
I don't need to do it, but you're right. Sometimes it's just habit.
I feel next time we need to run Mario 3 because I think I'd have a better chance.
The question is do you remember the warps and what you need
I
to do to
do.
get to the warps?
I do.
Okay.
That's more ingrained in my mind than this was.
Is it really?
It is, yeah. And actually in Mario 2 as well.
Dude, I cannot. I tried to do Mario 2 the other night just for shizzles
Yeah.
and gizzles.
I know where the warps are in Mario 2.
Oh, bro. I was so over that game. I'm like, this is bullshit. There's no congruency. It's just stupid, dude. I hate it. I hate
It's
everything
terrible.
about Mario 2. Like,
I love it. It's a fantastic game. What do you guys
Oh.
think about it?
you're garbage.
Drop the comments.
Oh man, I hate it. I hate Mario 2.
I am garbage. I'm a garbage person.
Shut up, dude. We gotta
For
work on your
liking Mario 2.
shit talking.
That's just my deal.
You know that part in Son-in-Law? Okay, so Pauly Shore, Son-in-Law.
Yep, Paul Shore.
Okay, so that part at the very end where they roofie
Fan of the
him,
show. Mm-hmm.
they roofie him and he ends up in the barn with the girl. right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the one guy looks at the girl as she's leaving the barn and he's like, "Oh, what did you do?" And she's like, "I don't know." And he's like, "You're so low." Like that was going through my mind just a minute ago when I was shit talking to you about Mario 2. I'm like, "You're so low."
You're so low.
Low, bro.
Low,
You're
bro.
so low. Oh my gosh.
Damn it, you get to hit every single time too, man.
Oh yeah, on that time jump.
Yeah, I wait for that jump that you go slow on right there. Wait for
right?
it.
I think you get a free life if you hit all these dudes. Ah, damn it.
Too slow. I don't think you'll
All
need
right.
it. I think you're doing pretty good.
Well, like I said, usually I get to that swim part. That's where I get before I lose my fire. And I just like for some reason it's so easy, bro. It's not even like it's that tough of
It
a
is.
part.
As a small person, like you can just walk across the bottom.
Yeah, you can. You can.
Yeah. And
And
nobody can touch you because the squids don't go all the way down. So
I should just use my fireball to blast those squid. But like I don't know, something just makes me forget every single time. Like I don't
it
know.
is. The Lakutsu.
Yeah.
Oh, did you ever get into a Mario RPG?
Oh, Fuddbrucker. Oh no.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Is that the Kool-Aid guy? Oh yeah.
Oh no. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's one of
Did
the
I ever
best
get into the what now?
Did you ever play Mario RPG for
Oh,
Super Nintendo?
no.
No.
I don't like RPGs. That's
I
my
mean,
dirty secret. Oh my
Oh!
gosh, dude. What is that? What is that? Straight dinky.
Terribleness.
And you not even on the soundboard to make it happen, Kevin.
I know. I'm looking for it now, but it's already too late.
It is. Timing's everything. It's everything, young producer Padawan.
I know. Well, I think I'm gonna start investing in a stream deck here soon,
Okay.
so I can have that.
just hit the button.
Yeah, so I have the button like right here, just bam, like right there. I don't even have to worry about hotkeys on my keyboard because even my keyboard is like, it's confusing. Like if I have to control something or anything like that, like, fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that.
It's part of the whole ADHD thing. If it starts getting too difficult,
yeah,
my brain is immediately like, fuck that, and like just move on.
There's got to be a better way.
Yeah, so like anything that I'm really engaged in, want to do, I have to like really commit myself.
No, I know.
To putting in that time and effort to like learning things, because like once it gets hard, my brain immediately shuts off and it's like, let's move on to the next distraction.
Well, I mean, I learned that kind of like when you were trying to do OBS, and I was trying to explain to you that maybe for now we just do this. Like I could see that like that was not an acceptable answer for the ADHD. Like it was like no,
and it still isn't.
No, I get it. Like there's so much restraint you are showing right now. People have no idea with putting up with the things you're putting up with, and I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. There's a lot of growth there.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. That's real, recognizing real, my bro.
It's part of being an old ass son of a bitch.
Oh yeah, you're gonna.
Oh God, get out of the way.
No, he ain't gonna get me. He ain't gonna get me. He ain't got that kind of clout. He don't got that kind of mess.
He's not the guy.
No.
Yeah, he's not.
I am the Mario.
The guy. I worry. It bothers me.
Oh, you dirty turd. Oh, come on.
Oh,
I was dancing the dance of the hammer.
It's not a
turtle.
tumor.
No, it's actually a hammer.
Yeah, it seemed to work there. Oh, wow. Good jump, man.
You like that?
Yeah,
like that?
From somebody who's actually played this game quite a few times.
Are you liking what you're seeing? Are you not entertained?
I am entertained. And we're up to 66 viewers, so I think other people are entertained too. So that's also, friggin' sweet, guys. That's friggin' sweet. Oh, God.
Dirty turds.
I wish we'd have known that as kids. What the fuck was that? How did you just jump through that?
Oh, man. I know my shit, bro.
Yeah, had we also known you just jump over these fools. And they don't do anything.
Yeah. I mean, like a lot of these things, like you just, I guess, like you were saying, if 2 and 3 were bigger for you, then you don't have that rhythm in this game, Like I get it.
Not at all.
It makes total sense.
The biggest thing that I ever tried to do was like try to time up the time where I got the fireworks.
Yeah, I can't figure out. All right. Not that I can't figure it out. I just don't remember. I don't remember what the fireworks are tied to.
Yeah, obviously, folks, we can use the internet.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I feel like that's
We've
common
made it this
anyway.
far, and we're streaming.
Like, how could we find an answer? Where can you go to get the answers to life's questions? Like,
Well, it's kind of funny, you know, considering we're a retro gaming streaming thing, and like we're not looking it up to be like, hey, yeah, that's actually how you do it.
that's our shtick, right? That's our whole thing. Is we don't know. We need a Nintendo Power, or we might as well just not even be playing the game. It's
We
like,
should get a Nintendo Power person.
like
You know, I was
like a
actually thinking
dealer?
about. I was thinking about that today in terms of like, oh man, it'd be really cool actually to get somebody who used to work at Nintendo Power. I mean, they'd be fucking ancient at this point.
Oh, you bitch!
Bro, why didn't you
It's-
just wait? Like, you've obviously killed me in time. Like, you do not need to speed run this. Just
No, I
fucking
mean,
beat it.
I'm not trying to speedrun it at this point.
Not the right sound there, but it's kind of funny.
I'm about to careless whisper some shit.
What's funny is like it's labeled in our soundboard as like I'm never gonna dance again instead of like careless whispers. So I was like, what is I never want to dance again? Like, so I played it real quick.
You're like, what could that possibly be?
Bro, just beat it. Because like at this point right now, like I'm getting a sense of like I need to see it. I need the release. If I don't release, it's gonna hurt me.
I'm fluffing everybody right now. Like,
yeah,
all 69 people.
we're
just
etching over here. This is etching.
fluffing them up.
God, don't go up. Stay down. Go slow. He can't get you. Get out of there. Thank God. Ugh.
This is the part, man. Like, this is the tough part.
I feel like oh God. Oh God, no, not again. For freedom.
I need a big, man. Oh my gosh. I need a big, bro.
I need a big Mr.
There's
Big.
nothing I can do. It's just like this part is so brutal too, because this is just so routine right here. Like, this is routine. You jump at the same spots, you do the same thing, go down the same tube. It's all routine.
Well, Mario 3 is the same way, especially not especially, but on par with that Super Mario World for SNES.
I mean,
lot of
and that
these
for me,
things-
like, is pan ultimate, right? Like, I
Can
feel
you not
like,
go above this whole world and just like go up there?
what would be past the board?
Well, there's a area that like you can swim up and jump up on, so like I'd imagine like that's kind of a thing, right?
I don't think so, but I can try it next life.
If you have one.
Oh man, I do.
I feel like you got to jump there. That's what I'm.
Oh my
The one thing there is,
God in heaven.
I feel as you come out of that like that tunnel,
I should jump over him.
I mean, just immediately, just jump over him.
Dude, you're asking me to do something on the last life.
I
Is
mean,
that what? Should I do that?
follow.
Do it.
It wasn't me. It was the Emperor.
Oh my gosh, I have a feeling our show numbers are gonna dump right after I die. Like, they're all like,
Like, ah.
I'm so out of here. Oh,
No,
here
honestly,
it
people are
comes.
staying for the titties. I feel.
Oh well, then they will
Oh,
be
there we go.
delightfully upset, I guess.
Wait till well, we don't know what's going to happen in the rest of the film, but wait till next week. we have more 80s titties for you. For
No,
some
you
reason.
can't. I can't get
Okay.
out.
All right. I mean, you might as well have checked. So, if you've been paying attention to Jay Bleazy's posts recently, you'll have noticed that he posted that we will. Well, we've recently caught an infatuation with this director because of it's the I mean, there it is. Wait for that first third.
I don't know which one to go.
Oh no!
No!
Ah!
Go!
Ah!
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Oh,
Oh! almost had her.
Oh,
Oh,
man, I'm
that's
gonna go
like
to bed thinking about that one tonight.
that's like throw your controller worthy.
Yeah, I wasn't even playing, and like I'm so upset about that. Like,
We should each have a controller over here that's not connected to anything that we can
just
just
throw it. Like, God,
Uh,
fucking yikes,
mhm,
yikes. All
mhm.
right, okay. Well, good run. Didn't beat the game. Better than my run. I didn't make it to the last level, so player one wins.
You didn't make it to the very last level? I can't remember.
No, I did not. No. I got to 8-1, and that was it.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, I did pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kicked ass.
There we go.
I mean, I guess we missed talking about Konami a little bit. Again, we're going to have to figure that one out because that one should make for some fantastic gameplay video.
I'll look into this this service or program called I think it's called like Fight Arc or Fight Arcade or something like that, and it's web based.
Okay.
So I think that we can like create accounts and we can play games online because it's normally meant for like playing competitive games, but I believe they also have cooperative games so that we can try to get into the classic arcade game Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which we spent hundreds of dollars probably in quarters
In the arcade
playing,
version.
playing at the skating rink and many other places that we went to, trying that out. Real quick though, who was your favorite character of that game?
It's tough for me, man, because it's between two guys.
Okay.
It's and one of them is for reasons of leadership, which would be
Mhm.
Leonardo, right?
Mhm.
He's got two katana blades. Leonardo, he's the leader.
Yeah,
I'm drawn to that type of character anyway.
makes
But I
total
guess
sense.
next for me has got to be, or right up there with him is Donatello.
Yeah,
Because
Donatello.
he's
The Reach.
dude, the reach. You got
The
the big
Reach
old stick.
alone.
You're throwing him, throwing him over with the stick, throwing him at the screen or whatever. It's
Plus, I mean, automatically Donatello, when you look at the characters, like he is number 2.
right.
He's
Right.
the smartest. He's the smartest person in the group. Like Donatello, I mean, like Leonardo only leads because of like the pure will to lead folks and like his ability to make that happen. His encouragement and leadership makes that role. Donatello doesn't have that kind of courage, but he's the smartest person in the group.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
pretty fucking good with a bow staff. So like,
Yeah. So I
that's,
mean, my
that's
picks
dope
were
as fuck.
very Dwight Schrute-esque. I want the manager and the co-manager, right? Like I want them all
Yeah.
on my
And
team.
that's where I would be as well. That's where I would have gone. I mean,
Those two
exactly
first,
those
right?
answers. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I would have flopped them.
Okay.
I choose
Donatello's
Donatello
first pick.
first. Yeah.
So we would be, dude, that would be great. I mean, that would work out for both of us.
Yeah, because then we'd have Mikey and Raphael to round out the lives lost if we died. Who would you go second then?
Well, you already know second. You mean probably third.
You
at
mean
this
you mean
point.
Michelangelo was
Yeah.
probably, yeah. I don't mind going Raph in that one too. They're both short form fighters.
Yeah,
And
Raph,
you got to get up close.
when he sticks you with the sai, he kind of has the same movements and throws that you get out of Donatello and Leonardo in the sword stab.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I kind of would probably go there, and then just I would go Michelangelo last. Because listen, I mean, I like nunchucks. Dad was a black belt in karate. He
Sure
would
was.
whip
Yeah,
the
he was
nunchucks
fantastic.
around. We even did a little chucking in our day.
Because they were around the house.
Yeah, of course. So I mean,
Yeah.
we know what it takes to look like something awesome. But I mean, for me, it's like, dude, if I could have a blade or a very long, strong stick, I feel better off than a dude that's got two tiny sticks with a piece of metal in it. Now, you can whap the shit out of somebody with a nunchuck. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know. For me, it just seems like my own mind in the natural world, the mechanics of how it works and
Yeah.
knowing how it works. It's like us when we used to ask Dad to try to beat Double Dragon for us, right? Because hey, he knows karate in the real world. He must know how to do karate in a video game. Well, we know the dirty secrets in the background, so we know that the nunchucks. I mean, I don't know, probably the weakest weapon of the three.
You grab that whip, son. The whip.
You get all Indiana Jones on them.
Yeah. They drop their own weapons. They fall on the ground. It's like one hit slap.
Well, that was a long way to say that I guess we got to figure out the multiplayer, and maybe next week we can get into the Konami game titles, and then we'll play that. Maybe we'll both play that version. I think we can at the very least do what we did last week and kind of play the same game, and then maybe flop back and forth between screens.
Yeah.
And so that way everybody gets a little dose of both of us playing it. I'm sure you can emulate it, and I know I have that on file here, so we are good to go. But I think what everybody came for was the final installment. You were talking about this director. You have found us something new and juicy for next week.
Correct. Yeah.
It is. I will say this: I was offended in the first minute and a half of just watching it. So I know that an hour and a half of this is going to be just tremendous. I hope everybody comes along for the journey.
As an adult with children, you're like, wow, like there's a lot of female nudity.
That's a lot of titty. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, and like I said, I come from. I mean, folks don't know, but I mean, I interned at a Shock Jocks podcast station in Tampa Bay for a couple years, and that gentleman was probably the reason why I wanted to get into radio, because I loved the honesty, I loved the realness, the Howard Sternness of radio, right? Like the guy that's really kind of, I don't know, being true to self when he's putting that stuff out there. So I kind of came from that. And so a guy that comes from that and has done podcasts where we tout raw reality radio, to say to you, bro, do we need to pull it back a bit?
That's a bit much. We had to start checking the the content filters on Twitch and YouTube to make sure that we had them set correctly. Because of the gratuity of nudity, the gratuity of nudity that was happening.
The gratuity of the nudity. I mean, we are gratuitous, right? We are very grateful when the nudity happens. Let's just put it this way: if you have a significant other that you watch the show with, maybe tune in next week. It can get you guys in the mood for some post-show activities. So, men, you're welcome for that. So, without further ado, man, can you get us into the final segment?
I will.
Okay.
And so, like, for those who just need a little catch up, our hero and his crew escaped Frogtown with the harem of beautiful women, and that they did, and they just suddenly got stopped by a stranger with an RPG. So that's kind of where we're at. They're going to recognize who this is, and that's what's going to happen. So you guys enjoy the show. We'll provide commentary as it happens. Okay.
There we go. That's the ticket.
I told you it was not finished, Sam Hellman.
Oh, he's normal.
Yeah.
You see, this used to be a man's world, Sam.
It's a man's
There's too
world.
many women that have us by the short end.
There's too many women.
I'm going to change that.
This guy.
I deal arms to the greeners for their uranium.
This guy's a progenitor of
and then I
incels.
give it to renegade scientists.
There's
for
too many women
processing.
and they hate me.
Dude, he's telling them the whole plan, like before blowing him up. Why does every shit poor bad guy do that? Like, why does he tell them the whole plan? Just blow him up, dude.
Soon I shall
Stick's
have
like,
the
let me
only nuclear weapons.
want me to
since the
blow you
war.
up?
And then I'll wipe the slate clean.
Where are you going with this katana?
And I'll get rid of the weak ones.
You're like 20, 30 feet away.
Hand it to me.
I'm passive.
And then rid this world
She's
of
a
those
passive.
bitches.
They're fucked.
Which we were not aware of, going into this situation, that there were people called passives.
Starting with her.
Oh, got the DE.
Uh-oh.
You don't have to pull the trigger. You could actually just pull the trigger. Whoa, look at that.
Oh, dude. I didn't know he had that in him.
I don't think he knew he had that in him.
Bitch.
He's like, you
Welcome to the
preachy
club."
bastard.
I got bored. Rowdy Piper.
Hey, where are you going?
I mean, where are we going? That's what I have.
Stay
Same
with
fucking
us.
question.
I mean, honestly, like one of the one of the biggest names in wrestling of the time,
Sam?
but still like not the greatest wrestler like of his time.
I think he
We'll
was
be
a
waiting.
champion at some point.
Yeah, but I mean, like nobody's looking at him as being like nobody remembers him as well as like Bret the Hart family. I don't think people remember him as well as Sting.
Are you sure? I thought you might be talking out of turn on this. I don't know
I
enough
could be
about
talking out of
wrestling.
pocket,
I mean,
folks. Like, set me straight, wrestling
well,
folks.
Pism P. I mean, he's a good example. I think that dude knows wrestling. When I was talking to him the other night, I think he was
I think he
wearing
went
an
back to,
NWO
yeah.
shirt.
An NWO shirt.
Yeah, I'm not kidding you. I was like, what?
I think he went to MLB. I think he went to go beat off MLB. We'll see. We'll see if he comes back.
I mean, MLB doesn't have half of what we got going on here. We have Hell Comes to Frogtown, and
You
then
got the
leaves
same
Frogtown.
things when you turn into MLB. It's the same thing over and over again. This is different every week. Who's actually worth millions of dollars at this point?
Damn, he got that dude twice.
And still, it's like a DE-22. Like the caliber size of that barrel is not anything. And unlike Alec Baldwin,
Oh no,
this guy survives.
Oh no. Oh no, he didn't.
Yeah, Roddy Piper didn't sit in court crying because he was exonerated.
Oh no.
Jesus, that man at least checked the chamber, probably.
Alrighty then. Alrighty.
It's looping for you, isn't it?
No, I just did it.
Oh, you just did it twice?
To fuck with
Fuck
you.
you. Hate it. It's a producer's nightmare. It's like, no, just once.
Sneaks up on you, that loop.
Yeah.
Oh,
This could
okay.
either be Indiana Jones or this movie right here.
Was that their whip?
It was somebody's whip.
Here comes the greenies.
We got him.
Captain Three Dicks.
Drop your weapon.
Oh, dude, with the RPG.
Drop him.
Where'd he get another round?
If you want to live.
I think that guy that they were with just didn't fire it.
Ah,
Not you, Tony.
No, you're not gonna live.
We're going down together.
whoa. Gonna get real freaky.
I just saw a gun on the ground. Somebody's gonna roll for it.
Oh, ain't that a bitch?
Tell me he has to fight this guy by hand. Oh, the D.
Shoot him one of his snakes. Shoot him in one of his snakes.
Look how small that barrel is in that Desert Eagle. It's so tiny. I think in this era, there's like, nobody knows what a caliber is.
No. The screens were so bad, like you couldn't tell. Like this is digitally mastered. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Do you think people actually went to the trouble of digitally remastering this movie?
I mean, does it look 80s to you? I mean,
did you
crisp.
see that drop right there? It is pretty crisp, but I think that maybe like this was just actually good filming at the time.
I mean, I got to tell you, some of the movies VHSs I watch on the CRTV are pretty blurry, dude. I don't know, it might be the equipment.
When we watch the next movie coming up from this director, it's gonna be fantastic.
Right.
I'm so excited for that. Not for the tits, just for the shit acting and everything else that's in it. It's gonna be so great.
Sure. Not for the tits, he says.
I'm married. I got tits.
It's true.
Oh, got him in the eyes. The frog eyes.
Hasta la vista, baby.
That was well worth it right there. That's why we have the soundboard, folks.
Yeah.
Oh, kick him in the 3 snakes.
Oh, I think it's over for Snake
With his
here.
human feet. He's gonna pull you down. Hey, he's gonna pull you down, bro.
Come on, Roddy. Oh,
Use the force, Luke.
he's getting the knife.
And here comes the head.
Say hello to my little friend.
Oh, the hands.
Oh, he chopped him.
Dead frog. Okay. I didn't know we had a Boeing.
Are you kidding me? What sound respective producer doesn't have a Boeing?
Wait, Paul's here. Or Pisms. Oh, I don't have to say. He's in the chat. And I've only beat off to UFC.
Oh
it.
no. Oh man, I can't see like
So sweaty. Piss him. We
Dude.
might have to. We might have to have him in for a show.
Piz and P.
Yeah, why not? We should have
He's-
some guests.
He's pitching me an idea. We'll talk about it here at the end of the show.
All right.
We'll discuss it.
I love Paul.
I don't talk any business though outside of my co-host, so
Of course.
my number one. Number one.
Number one.
We thought you were dead.
Hey, weird looking chick.
He is just a
Where
little
were you?
off, right?
When we saw
Yeah.
that thing, we took cover.
She's like the
I
Wish
told you the
version of
plan
like,
would work.
you know, an actress that you would hire for this.
That was a plot to murder me. I ought to kick your butt.
Oh, just try it, Buster.
She looks like the dude from Jaws.
Stop.
Why?
Yes, yes,
Give
the
yourself some
chief.
hurdles.
Yeah, the chief of police. She looks like him.
Don't.
Oh.
No, you can't unsee it
ain't
now.
unleashed no more.
That's it. Like he looks like the
Then
chief
why
from
didn't you
Jaws.
run off?
I knew you'd miss me.
He's got better hair than she does. I mean, like the whole thing just
Yeah.
doesn't work.
It
Look at how
doesn't
feathered
work.
that is.
It is. It's really bad. No volume whatsoever.
Hey, how's your shoulder?
You too.
I've
Hey,
had
what's up?
worse.
I'm gonna fuck all of you.
He's got a girlfriend out of the deal and the harem. So
Yeah.
you know.
What's this for?
He's literally like one of the only dudes
Something
who
to
can
hang on
sexually
to.
reproduce. Like he's
When you're
obviously
alone.
going to get with all of these women.
Yeah, Roddy's about to get rowdy.
Yeah. So remember this when I'm banging other chicks.
But it's all
You-
good.
I'm a number one
Yeah.
guy.
So good.
Echoes you a lot. Maybe after you
If
complete your
anybody gets
duties, I
that
can get
reference,
us a
please,
couple of weeks
please
leave.
hit us up in the chat. We'd love to
That
have you on for
sounds
the next stream. It'd be great.
What do you mean when I'm finished my duties?
Ooh.
Do it. Do it.
Yes.
Do it.
Huh. I guess what they say is true.
What's that?
A soldier's work is never done.
We're certainly highbrow people here.
A soldier's work is never done. That happens every time. I can tell you firsthand.
Wow.
Is that it?
I believe it
No-
is it.
Oh my gosh. That makes me sad, man. I'm sad a
It
little
does. Well, we got a few minutes left. Maybe we can talk about possible things for next week or anything like that.
bit. Yeah. Let's kill that and get back to this. All right. So first, I think. For our
Yeah,
first
amazing,
viewing,
amazing.
Right? Like this.
Amazing.
I don't remember the director's name. Do you have that offhand?
Let me grab it real quick.
Anyway,
fantastic.
yeah. So I mean, this was our first segmented viewing. The first iteration of this, we were just watching whole movies, but now we've got this down to a segment portion at the end of every show where we just kind of unwind the show and chit chat and talk about the movie that we're going to watch. And we are stuck, like you said, on this director.
Yeah,
What's his name?
Donald G. Jackson.
Okay. And how many movies roughly do you think that he has under his belt? Do you know that one yet?
Not
or-
that many, because when I've looked him up, like he's done iterations of this film like several times. So I think there are actually sequels and prequels
Oh wow.
to this film. And in regards to the next film, I think there's at least 2 of those.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So we could be dabbling in this pool for quite some time.
of
It
course.
seems like everybody likes it. We do tend to hold the viewership till the very end. So I'm excited, right? I mean, now you're
Guys.
telling me that there's a smidge more.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
Uh,
if you stayed for Frogtown, trust us, like more is coming of this kind of stuff, and I found boatloads of more content in terms of like these old, over the top, super titty heavy 80s movies.
why? Why does it have to
Yeah.
be this way? It's
I
not
don't
even
know,
like.
man. Like I looked up
Did you?
different
Did you?
directors too. Like I would
Okay.
like I literally looked up as like over the top 80s movies that are just ridiculous. And like I saw these and like this is actually where I came up from him too. But there was one like that's kind of like a Miami Vice or like a Magnum PI style. And I
Wow.
was looking at it, and I was like, "Oh, cool!" Like, the opening trailer was like describing Hawaii. It's like picturesque, but it was using like really like sexual language. So it was like sensual beaches, warm, wet waters, and then all of a sudden it's like, what a beautiful place to live. What a terrible place to die. And I was like, oh, dude, I'm sold here. Like, this is fantastic. I'm all about
Oh
this
my
life right here.
gosh.
And so, like, when they started doing it, I was like, all right, well, there's a lot of action. So it's like Magnum PI. I was like, this is really cool. And then they're like, yeah, like super, like action packed, super, like sensual. And like, it was like, and they didn't show it in the trailer. Like the chick's just lifting up her like top, and I'm like, all right, well, here we are again. Like, just
There's no
tits.
way around it. Yeah, there's no
No,
way out of it. There's no way
if
around
we
it.
want funny movies that are like action packed, taking themselves seriously, but at the same time being the most ridiculous movies we've ever seen, there's gonna be tits.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. That as the Mandalorian says, this is the way.
This is the way.
Um,
Yeah.
so I mean, we'll see what we got with the next one. I'm excited about it too. That's gonna be awesome. We'll do
Yeah,
that
man.
next week. Real quick, I wanted to
We'll
kick
announce it
you.
middle of this week, so everybody
Yeah,
gets a heads up of like what we're gonna watch this week. So
right. Yes, we'll do that, and
we'll throw it on the trailer. Yeah.
we'll front run it for everybody, so,
Hmm.
so you have an idea of what's going on. Speaking of Piz and P, though, he was talking to me about something that I've seen quite a bit of lately, and it's people that I guess kind of review videos
Hmm.
of music, right? Like music videos.
Okay. Yeah.
And the funny thing is about that, right? So he actually had kind of brought that up to me as an avenue, and the funny thing is just I guess maybe 4 days before that, you and I were talking about a topic for the show: songs that make you emotional.
Yeah.
And we were going through stuff, and really, it was some '80s videos that I was on, that I was
Hmm.
watching. I was watching the originals, and then I started watching a couple of the
Yeah.
reviews
You
of
had a good
people.
story about that.
Yeah, people that had never seen the videos, but they were watching them, and
Mhm.
that's a whole topic for another week. We're not going to get into all that right now, but he was
Sure.
kind of bringing up this idea of it. And it was funny because I just seen that days before, which led me to a show topic.
Hmm.
So now, I'm thinking maybe there's a world in which, I mean, there's not a music video that I think that I've probably never seen, or at least the song I've never heard, right? I may not have seen the original music video, but I've heard the song. There's very few songs that would surprise me that I've not heard.
Minus
So
modern music.
correct. So, at least from the throwback genre, I can't do
Yeah.
these kind of
That's where we
review
live at.
videos. Right. So I think though that there might be a world in which we kind of do like an MTV type thing, and maybe draw from some type of music video resource that they did back
Hmm.
in that time frame, and see how we can develop it. Right. So
Sure. It'd be great to have a reporter on site. In terms of in terms of somebody coming in and talking to us about that. That'd be great.
yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
maybe there's a world in which that works. You were talking about, and possibly seeing what Piz and P might be able to bring to an episode of the show or something. But we'll see, right? You and I got to really hash that out, before we go anywhere. But we are guys that like to look at the different avenues and see which ways we can be different
Yeah.
and fun, and provide content that you guys aren't digesting regularly. So
Yeah.
um,
And if you guys have any content that like you think of in your minds that you're not digesting regularly, did you think that fits in our aspects? Please let us know because we'd love to
yeah.
be able to bring that to the show as well.
For sure. Yeah, I'm totally down with that. Like I said, we'll always take suggestions. We may not
Hmm.
use them right away, or we may not use them at all, but there's the chances that we could, and much like how we would utilize AI, it just kind of prompts us to go into a direction. And that's always good,
Yeah.
So we
Also,
got.
please, the chat, use it. It helps.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
it helps us
guys,
know what's going on. Like,
We love to chat. There will never be a time. We'll show your chats. We'll put them up there. There's going to be a day in the future where we do subscription type stuff, and we'll do maybe some Patreon type stuff. Where you can actually pay, right? But for now, it's all fun and games. So I mean, get in there, grow with us, be the person that we
Yeah, and
look
if you
back
get
from.
in early, you'll probably end up being grandfathered in anyways.
Right,
In terms
right.
of like just giving the clearance to get into a lot of the stuff too. So like,
The attention and due that an
yeah,
OG
be part
deserves.
of the group,
Right.
be part of the community, help us out, and we'll make sure we take care of you guys in the future.
Absolutely, absolutely, and just like with everything else, we've got a great show planned for next week. We've got a new movie to watch. We've got new gaming to
Mhm.
do. We've got a fresh interview that's our hangout that's going to happen. So it's going to be great. We'll be same bad time, same bad place next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Be
Mhm.
there, be square. What you got, man? Anything else?
Yeah, that's all I got, man.
All right, sounds good. Well, for
Thanks
Jay
everybody
Bleezy,
for showing up tonight.
that's
Like fantastic, man. Like this blew apart all of our viewership so far. You guys are fantastic, and we love you all. Thank you so much for showing up tonight. That's all I got to say. So
yeah. Well, that's. Do you have the outro, or should I go find that? Or are we gonna play our old outro? What do you
play the
think?
old outro one
Okay,
last
let's
time, and
let's
then
give the
we'll
old
get it. We'll
outro.
get squared away
Yeah, we'll
next
give the
week.
old outro one more spin. For Chet Malarkey, I'm Jay Bleezy. Thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. It was a great week. We will see you next time.
Peace.